Seasons change in Michigan, it's easy to lose your grip. Luckily, Pennzoil in Big Rapids has the tires you need to dominate all seasons in Michigan. Big tires, fast tires, grippy tires, sleek tires. Go see Zach Wells at Big Rapids Pennzoil today. He'll get you back on the road and ready to roll. That's Big Rapids Pennzoil, located at 710 North State Street, or give them a call at 231-796-4730. All right, we are here.
Hey, Bob.
Hey
I was running a little late. It started storming real bad out there.
Oh, yeah. I saw the water on the road and all.
Sprinkling a little bit.
Yep. So.
But I do, time gets away from me in the morning. I get to talking to those guys at the table about Ferris football. And they had a big win Saturday. We won't talk about that. 87 to what? I think
7, yeah.
7. Yeah. That was pretty.
They let them score 7. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's really sad that the Big Rapids Cardinals couldn't play their homecoming game this past Friday night. They had a wonderful, wonderful parade. My 2 cars were in there, the Thunderbird and the Volkswagen, so those 2 got to really enjoy going down Michigan Avenue.
There you go.
I never know when the last time it's going to be, because last year I had that 68 Chevelle and sold that. So
okay, well,
that is no longer down Main Street.
Time to consolidate your collection.
Yeah, but it's pretty sad that it's almost unheard of.
They just don't, they didn't have the healthy players, and this is Grant we're talking about. And we had Dawn Thompson on last Wednesday, and she was scrambling to find a team, and everybody's scheduled up, so
yeah.
Can't.
But anyway, life goes on. They made the best of it. They had the powder puff game the girls played, and they had fun, and that's what it's all about.
There you go.
Talking about fun, we got a gal, Teresa Fry. Do you know Teresa? You should. She's been around for 90 years.
Wow.
Coming up here, I think October 5th. Let me get this straight now. But anyway, just a wonderful lady, a good friend of the Curries. The Fries are very well known out in Grant Center area and Big Rapids, too. And Reed City area, they're known all over. But anyway, they're having a jamboree out there. Have you ever been to a fiddler's jamboree?
I haven't, but it sounds intriguing. I like
that.
Well,
all are welcome, all are welcome. You know that song? Mm-hmm. All are welcome, all are welcome, all are welcome in this place. Anyway, it is October 5th at the Grant Township Hall. Do you know where that is?
In Grant, I'm
not trying to embarrass you. My sister gives me heck when she says you tease him a lot. Well, anyway, Grant Township Hall is just, if you take 21 Mile Road out to Grant Center, you come to Four Corners.
Right.
Go straight through it. It's about a half mile, maybe 3/4 mile up on the left-hand side. You can't miss it. Be a lot of cars there celebrating Teresa's 90th birthday. But they're having a Fiddler's Jamboree. You say you've been to one?
I've never been to one, but it's intriguing.
Well, it's free admission. Donations are always welcomed, of course, but it's presented by the original Michigan Fiddlers Association. And they've had one. Chase had one up there, and Cadillac Senior Citizen had one up there. Chippewa Lake Community Building had just recently had one September 21st, but October 5th. And if you want any information, you can get a hold of Marie Wilkerson at 231-734-2508. If you have a pen there, 231-734-2508. Are we live streaming this now?
We are now, yes.
All right, so
if you want to, okay, so we're experimenting with this to see how it goes.
Yeah.
We're going to be live streaming Curry's Corner and also the sports show.
Okay.
And so if you want to, if you have anybody in Florida or wherever they are, they can tune it in. They go to B103.9BigRapids.com.
Wow, we're going to have to.
Yeah, B103.9 BigRapids.com. At the top of the page, you'll see a little tab, and it says for Wildcat Football. This is actually what this is for, but we're going to get that changed to B103.9 Live Broadcasts. All right, so that will take you to a YouTube page. You'll click on live, and then you can click on the stream. So that should be going right now. In fact, you talk for a second. I'm going to check.
All right. Well, being that said, now I'm going to have to wish a lot of people down in Florida happy birthday.
Yeah. So
like when Tim Burns turns 82.
So you see that, and you look on your phone there.
Oh, yeah.
See a little Wildcat Football right at the top.
Yeah.
Okay, so you click on that. Takes you to YouTube page, and then on the YouTube page you have live. All right, so you see right here, it says live. It says Curry's Corner.
Yeah.
Birthday. Yeah. So
Like when Tim Burns turns
okay, so you see
82.
that, and
When Tim turns 82, we can wish him a happy birthday down in Florida.
Okay, so
He'll be able to
there it
listen
is.
to it.
There it is, going out live. So
Him and
the other
Randy.
thing is that we have to tell people, that they tune in and enjoy hearing the songs that you pick. We're going to have to do that at the end of the show because we can't put those out on the stream. That's the whole crux. Is we can't put licensed music because then the copyright holders for the music come down on us. They actually take the stream down and challenge it, and it gets messy. And if we do that enough times, then they won't let us stream anymore. So, so we try to avoid that. But B103.9BigRapids.com, and click on the Wildcat tab right now. We'll get that changed. And when you get to the YouTube page, and the other thing is if you go there and you click on that, the shows will be archived there as well. So once they're in, you'll have to go, because we have the Wildcat games, the Everett games, all archived as well. So once you get there, you'll see, and it's pretty cool. So we're going to try to do that as long as we can. So
Well, now I got to stop and think what I was going to say. No, I'm only kidding. We got some birthdays today. I want to wish Laura Monahan, Mike's wife, a wonderful day. Even though it's raining out here, don't let that dampen your day. Enjoy your day because God has gifted you another one. Tracy Foster, a well-known doctor, but more importantly, a great mother of 3 boys. The one is playing, Garrett's playing football, really good football right now at Big Rapids, and it's a shame he didn't get to play in his homecoming, but look for him to be a great year this year at Big Rapids High School.
Very good.
Football team. And then we have Mark Myers. Mark Myers up there in Reed City. He's got all that big equipment up there on 3 Mile Road. His birthday's today. I don't know how old Mark would be, but I would guess he's in his 50s.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah. That's Roy's boy. But anyway, and then we've had some funerals of late, and Gavin Miller passed away, unfortunately, doing what he loved was fishing, and the outpouring support this community is unbelievable. Well, it's not unbelievable, but I'm grateful to live in this community of thoughtfulness and prayers for his family. The Millers are an outstanding family from the Chippewa Lake area. Never been on welfare that I know of. They're a hardworking group. I call them the salt of the earth. Great farmers, great people. I love them all. And our prayers and thoughts are still running with them, being it's only been a week or so ago. Just of late, I was very fortunate. Penny and I and a group, Carmen Bean Sue, Joe Bayshaw, and Jeff Mayle, and Amy and Mary, we all went up to Barnes Resort. It's a county park up there on the other side of Torch Lake.
Okay.
Just a little R&R, for 3 or 4 or 5 days, whatever it was, 4 days, I guess. But as I was up there enjoying myself, my good friend Pat McHugh was down here burying his wife, Nancy. Had I known, I would have never went. Nobody told me that she had passed. She passed September 20th at the age of 67. She was surrounded by her family. Just a wonderful lady. She had MS early on, and she, I believe, fought cancer for a lot of years. You talk about a dedicated husband and wife. Both of those two deserved each other, because I like a lot of people, but Pat McHugh is one of my favorite friends. He farm boy from down on 3 Mile Road there. He still resides there to this day. He raised his kids down there. The grandchildren, every July 4th, they had a big celebration, fireworks down there. Unfortunately, I never went. I guess it wasn't meant to be, but I think last year he said it was going to be his last year doing it. And she was a big part of that. She drew attention because she was such a beautiful woman, and inside and out. Like I said, she fought cancer for many, many years. And Pat made it a point to always come in the station at least once, sometimes twice a week, depending how many treatments when she had to have them. But we would chat for up to a half hour at times. And, of course, he greeted a lot of friends that he knew from the past that were in the station, so he'd chat with them. And he would always get his car washed and fill up with gas, and she'd sit in the truck. Feeling good or not, she always stayed in the truck. Pretty much. Once in a while, she'd come in and get a lotto ticket once in a while to enjoy life a little bit.
Yep.
And but she'd sit there and read a book.
Okay.
And it reminded me of Jerry and Fran Ward. Jerry did the same thing. Jerry'd come in and talk to my brother John and I, and Franny would sit in the truck, and I always told Pat, I said, wow, I had another customer who used to do that too, but she didn't mind. She knew Pat needed some time, social time. He'd been retired for a few years now, worked for AT&T for a long, long time and farmed. He's a hard-working guy and just loved his wife dearly. And gosh, I wished I would have known she had passed. I definitely would have stayed home from the vacation and went to her funeral to show my respect to the family. But she survived by her husband of 48 years.
Wow.
Pat and her, Pat McHugh, 48 years. She adored her children and her grandchildren. She loved talking about them, and Pat did too. And she's survived by Christopher and Melissa and Charles and Chad and their wives and grandchildren, Nicholas, Joel, Annabelle, Casagrande, Piper, Killian, Caitlin, Miles, and Austin. Great-grandchild, Colton. And she's siblings are Iona, Larry Howard, and Peggy, and Mike Eckert, and many more family and friends. I just kind of wanted to write that down to keep that in my memory. But I'll remember her dad and mother moved up here out of Detroit years and years ago, probably in the late 60s, I'd say. And they had the Red Baron restaurant down there in the Morley area at 5 Mile Road, Northland. Okay. Have you ever heard of that? Probably not, no. But the Red Baron, I think it had the wings of a mobile gas station. I think they had 2 pumps there.
It'd be Flying A, wasn't it?
Well, no, the Red Baron?
No, I mean the wings.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Flying A?
I don't know. I've never heard about Flying A.
Oh, it became Getty later on.
Oh, you're out east.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's the west. Mobile.
Yeah.
But anyway, right there at the corner, it would have been on the northeast corner of 5 Mile Northland Drive.
The Pegasus is mobile.
Okay, yeah, Pegasus. Anyway, they had a 2-pump gas station there with a restaurant in there. I remember my dad and I, when I was young, would stop in there and eat. And then as I got my license, I'd stop in there and eat because they always had a real good breakfast. And I worked a lot of mornings in that truck. But, they'll be forever remembered in that corner. And, Nancy, I'm sure, probably worked it. I don't remember her in high school. I think she's a graduate of 75. And Pat was a graduate of 71 from Morley. Played a little football at Ferris. He's a big guy. Mm-hmm. Like I say, very well-known people. And, gosh, I bet her funeral was huge because anybody that she met loved her. Just a great lady. And I'm sure she's around the throne tonight with the rest of the angels. That's for sure. She definitely deserved her wings. Can't say enough, and getting a little sensitive talking about it because I just feel, you know how you feel, Bob, bad that you didn't make it to something you should have been there, but you can't hold. I should have been there, but wasn't.
Yeah, you're doing a tribute on the radio, and I think that's
Well, she deserves a tribute from everyone that ever met her. I mean, the nice things that on the wall of the funeral home, it just goes on and on and on.
Yep.
But anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
What did you do this week? It was exciting.
What did I do? Not a whole heck of a lot. I just kind of took it easy. I tried to enjoy the day. I mean, it was such a gorgeous weekend. So
yeah, a lot of stuff going on locally. We won't bring it up, but again, I pray to God someday that we heal our hearts and heal the hate that's going on right now. There's just so many things going back and forth that people are just stabbing each other. And my name's brought up once in a while, and that's okay. I can take it. I'm not going to retaliate. I think that people need an excuse not to like me. They're going to do what they got to do, right?
Yeah, it's anybody,
Right.
So.
Yeah. On a good side of life, I call my son Adam. I'll tell you a little quick story. I called him the other night at 6 o'clock, and I needed some information on what I was doing. He's pretty handy. He can fix about anything.
Yep.
So I need his expertise. And he didn't answer his phone.
Okay.
And about 7 o'clock, he calls me back, 6:45. And he said, "What did you need, Dad?" It's always, "What did you need, Dad?" Because it's never to congratulate him on anything. I'm a tough old buzzard. But anyway, I said, "I need this information, and blah, blah, blah. But I got a question first." I said, "Why didn't you answer your phone when I called you at 6 o'clock? You know how old people are. Mm-hmm. When you call somebody, you want them to answer their phone.
They don't do that anymore. They don't,
No.
send it to voicemail.
You know what he was doing?
What?
He was having dinner with his family.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
turned the phone off.
Yep, he turns the phone off. They have no phone on during dinner time. They sit down. I didn't know this until that night. He sits down every night with his family. He has, 3 boys and a daughter, KK, Harrison, Knox, and Willie. And his wife, of course. And they sit down, have dinner every night, and they say a prayer. Mm-hmm. And then nobody's dismissed until they're done eating.
Right.
And if you do want to get up to say you have to go to the bathroom or something,
right,
you have to be excused. Mm-hmm. Then after dinner, they each take their plate, and the littlest one's only 2, up to the sink and put it in the sink.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
They wash it off?
So I
rinse it? Or?
I said, you have dinner with your family every night? And he goes, yeah. I says, I was never home at dinner hardly. I was always working or whatever, I mean.
Well, that's where he made it a priority because, you were out working or whatever.
Yeah. I said, where did you get that at? And he teased me. He said, Peterson's at first. That's his in-laws. And I said, oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
And he goes, no, I'm just teasing you. He goes, actually, I got it from a book I read. And I can't remember the title of the book. All of us should probably read it. It was like Deteriorating of the American Family.
Yeah.
And one of the things is that we've gotten away from having a family dinner every night to take that special hour with the family.
Yep.
And talk about what you did that day and what's troubling you, if there is something troubling you. You think about that, that's so true because, we're all so fast. It's all
they
about...
turn the phone and did they turn the TV off as well? I don't know.
Oh yeah. No, they sit there and Kay's 10. She'll tell what she did that day, and Harrison, he's 3rd grade, I think he said he's in, and they communicate, and boy, I think maybe he's so right. It's a little late for me. But if anybody's out there listening, maybe it can help you. Maybe you do need to take an hour every night and sit down with the kids. And
it's hard. I mean, some people in their schedules, but
it doesn't have to be though. They're making it work.
Yeah, well, they are.
Mm-hmm.
But that has to be done with work at. Oh,
that's all right.
Done with work at 5:00 and home and ready for dinner, or sometimes that doesn't happen. It has to work.
Well, it didn't with me. I know that. And
well, that's it. I mean, you're in a business that you were on the road. Speaking of which, that's what I was doing on. That's what I was doing on Saturday was getting some service from Curries Towing because battery went dead on me.
Oh, really?
So I got a jump, and lo and behold, the battery was, so I had to go get the battery replaced.
Oh,
but,
really?
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
it's good to have a new battery in for the winter.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want is not knowing if that car is going to start and snow's coming down and you're stuck somewhere. So, thank you to Curries.
Well,
796-5351. Keep that number handy. And called, and Matt answered the phone and sent Cam over, and it was good. We're all good. So
sent who over?
Cam, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. So, whenever I think of Cam, I think of Cam.
That's what I was thinking.
My buddy up there at Big Rapids Towing.
So So you have your own Cam now.
Gary Wells is quite a historian. I should have asked him to come in today. He brought something in the other day. I can't remember who gave it to him or where he got it from, but it was a picture of a bunch of guys. I think our centennial's in 1955. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why that year sticks out, but I think that was our 100th year at Big Rapids. And all the guys around town, they grew beards for it.
Okay.
And my dad obviously was in there, and oh my Lord, the old names, it was just unbelievable. And Dusty Davis was one of them. And what it would say, it was like Dusty Davis, 425 South Michigan, is having trouble with his beard or whatever, and blah, blah, oh, having trouble drinking his coffee because of his thick beard.
Okay.
And I brought that name up, and Gary said he probably was the best athlete ever in Big Rapids.
Okay.
In his time anyway, I mean, he's been, Gary's closing in on 90, 87, I think, something like that. But he's quite a historian, and he knows a lot about the town. In fact, if you get a chance, we should get him back on here, because the change of the course of Big Rapids, he can tell you what happened back like in the John Cutter days. You never knew about him, but he wanted to come in and develop Big Rapids into a different kind of a downtown strip.
Okay.
but he had a lot of people buck him on it, so he left town, went to Ohio, and got rich in oil.
There you go.
But he's got so much information; it's just
How
unbelievable. He could
different
write a
it
book.
would be. Yeah.
Yeah, he could write a book. But
I mean, Big Rapids is lucky to have, Michigan Avenue, and you have State Street, so they never have to close off the main thoroughfare through town to have a parade or to have a school reunion or whatever.
Right.
You have a separate quote unquote Main Street in Michigan
Right.
Avenue. So Big
Right.
Rapids kind of lucky in that aspect. They have the parallel streets there.
Yeah, I took some pictures of some of the guys in that in the book there, and one was Norm Silvernail. At the time, he lived at 544 South State, and it says could easily pass for Abe Lincoln with his centennial beard that is 3 months old. Norm was one of our all-time best realtors and bankers here in community of Big Rapids for a lot of years. A lot of stories about him loaning money to people, and he was just a straight-up guy. His daughter, Sue Glatz, resembles him that way. She
Right.
has that same straight-forward business type
Acumen.
yeah, but I was just thinking about
demeanor.
him. I looked at his picture. I said, "My gosh, he does look like Abe Lincoln." But he was
funny.
tall, thin,
Yeah.
good-looking guy. Yeah. And Russell Vorse, I came upon his picture at 929 West Avenue. He had a full beard with a mustache over his beard. He started the Centennial Spirit in January 20th. Russell Vorse, you didn't know him.
Right.
I really didn't know him either, but the significance is 929 West Avenue is the house I built.
Okay.
I bought his house from his wife,
okay.
Eunice.
I knew it was your neighborhood when I heard that number.
Yeah, and it's ironic because I just loved his wife. She was an older lady. I pumped her gas for a lot of years, and I always said to her, my brother Joe and I used to hunt up behind her house there, and I always said, boy, I sure would like to have your place. And she goes, I'll pray that someday you'll own that property.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. And to say there isn't a God, I think there is.
There you go.
Because I've had it for since 1984 now.
Nice.
So I think
Good
she
deal.
died in 83 maybe, but or
Okay.
maybe 84.
Yeah. But so we're, back in New York, we had the Ernest Hemingway was a fixture in Sag Harbor, and so they had the Ernest Hemingway lookalike contest. So all the men grew beards to try to compete to be looking like Ernest Hemingway. So when you talk about a beard growing contest, that's kind of what I think of.
Yeah.
But they can be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I was telling.
I can't have a beard. It's like
Yeah.
I just don't like it at all.
You know, it's unfortunate. We grew up in the best time of the times, I guess, and I don't think the good times are over yet. I think we have an election coming up here. If people really look at it and realize what's going on, read both sides really well. But anyway, Art Ward, he lived in the alley, like behind the vet clinic there. He built a little house back there. The reason I bring his name up is I had a paper route back in the day, and I used to drop off the Pioneer to his place. And on Saturdays, I would always pick up the money, and he was one of my customers, and he lived with his dog, Coco. I don't think he was ever married.
Okay.
And he didn't live a lonely life, but he sure enjoyed my visits on Saturday mornings when I'd come. He'd always have me in for cookies and milk, and
nice.
talk about the history of Big Rapids. And these guys were old when I was a little kid back in the early 60s. They were born in 1800s, but Art, boy, I see that picture and brings back a lot of memories. My sister Ann was always nice to him, too. I think he might have went to a nursing home, and Ann worked in one and helped her.
Gotcha.
Then one of my all-time favorites of Big Rapids was Norm Peterson. Now, there was 3 Norms, and they all had, I think, the nickname of Pete.
Right.
So, I mean, who's Norm? What's Norm? Well, this one was Mary Ann Mendenhall's dad.
Right.
Norm Pete, I called him. He was a little fella. He had the Sunoco station right there where the new gas station is going in now, years ago. And the story on him, you want me to tell you the story on him real quick?
Absolutely.
Well, he was telling me.
I have to say WBZX Big
it's
Rapids
top
is
dollar.
9 o'clock.
My Lord, it's going fast, isn't it?
We don't have to break for a spot. We already did that.
Well, we'll do the sponsors in a minute. But Norm was an all-time favorite of mine. He was a good, loyal customer, but he always came into the station. We'd always have little stories, and he'd have a half a cup of coffee, and he'd always say to me, "You're not going to charge me for half a cup, are you?" I said, "Well, no," but he did that every day. I loved him, But anyway, he was telling about a young man that back in the old days, Chuck Stewart, H.L. King, Rex Horgan, Merle Abbott, Ken Long, Dale Toogood, Pat Currie's dad, Rich, Larry Goethals, Vic Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Anyway, I could go on and on and on. Talk about guys, they all had something in common. They had gas stations and they all had open credit. And, of course, Pete did, too, at the Sunoco station, and everybody sold tires back then. Well, this young man went in there and bought a set of tires.
Right.
And charged them, but never paid for them.
Yep.
And so as time went by, the young man went to Vietnam. And as time went by, years go by, his mother passed after he came home, of course. Mm-hmm. And years go by, and his mother had passed, and he was going through her belongings. And in one of the dresser drawers was a bunch of papers. And he was going through them, and he found this bill from Norm Peterson Sunoco. And had realized at that time he never paid for those tires. But see, he bought the tires just before Nam.
Right.
And was probably like, wow, I'm going to Nam.
Yeah.
He had to go in the service and forgot about it. So he went out to his house with interest, compounded interest. It was quite a bit.
Okay.
And he came to Norm's house and he goes, Norm, I'm so-and-so. Norm says, yes, I remember you well. He goes, I owe you some money. And he paid him with interest.
Wow.
And I said, oh my God, what a story. Unbelievable. And Pete said, I it was unbelievable that, this happened. And he said, they went and talked a little bit about it. And he said that something, and I said, well, Pete, you never told me who it was. Who was? Oh, I'm not going to tell you. I wouldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But he does live in Big Rapids.
Okay.
And I said, well, tell me who it was. So every time after that, when he'd come in the station, I always say, hey, Pete, who was that guy again that paid you off for those tires? You're not getting it out of me. So I said, well, on your deathbed, I'm going to come and see you when you die. And
nice.
You're dying. Maybe you'll whisper it. And he goes, no, I won't. To this day, I'll never know who it was unless you're out there listening. Which brings me to another subject. There's a lady in Reed City.
Okay.
God bless your soul. You're close to 90, if not 90 years old. And we talked in the gas station about the history of Reed City and Hersey. You grew up in Hersey. And I said, I'll have to have you on the radio show and we'll record the life of you because, you go way back. And she goes, I would love to do that. Heck, I forgot her name. And I wrote it down someplace and I can't find it. So if you know somebody in Reed City that's still alive, that would be in the 90s, and she was a school teacher, I remember that. But I can't remember her name. And she had gray hair, or she has gray hair. Well, wouldn't you all have gray hair? I'm only kidding you there.
What's left of it.
Yeah. But
So,
anyway.
Don't you love this station? It's like we're sitting here talking.
Yeah.
And the mayor walks in.
Oh, I know. I love it.
What other town does that happen in?
Well, I want to
New York, Eric Adams would want. No, he's in jail.
I want to mention some other guys that I found on these pages. Woody Bloxham. That's Mark and Brad Bloxham's dad.
Okay.
Woody was a roofer here in town. Great guy, but he was in here in the Centennial picture. And then I don't want to forget Al Keenitz. Hemlock Park down there at the ball field. Al took care of that for years and years and years. You knew Al, didn't you, Fred? Fred Gunther, the mayor, just came in.
Didn't he carve the tombstones?
Yep, Keenitz memorials. Yep, Al Keenitz. He didn't have a beard, though. He just had long sideburns all the way down his jaw. And then Alex Connard, Beaver's dad, and Joe Connard just recently died. And Deb Connard, she's passed, worked at Zotz for years, and Terry Connard out Chippewa with Larry and had all those kids. The dad to them guys. And Al had he processed deer in the back of his house. Probably couldn't do that today, but anyway, he did it back in the day, and he was just a bubbly guy. He worked out the A&R for a lot of years, and everybody liked Alex Connard. He was in there, good-looking guy. I sent that picture to his son Jeff out in Cleveland, Ohio, and Jeff made a remark back to me. He said, I never saw my dad ever, even with a picture of him with a beard until now. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, and Fred Warden, Fred was Bill Warden's dad up on top of the hill called Warden Hill. Pierce Wilbur, he was an old time. You remember Pierce? Mm-hmm. Yep, Pierce. And then Jack Lewis, what a historian he was. And then my dad, he had a beard there. Didn't look too good in it. But hey, yeah. Before we go any further, I just want to thank the Big Rapids Pennzoil and Auto Repair, Zach Tires, Oil Change, Auto Repair. Zach does sell tires.
Yeah,
Zach's a great guy. He just recently helped out a good friend of mine, got her right in there and got her fixed. Zach Wells, Great garage down at Pennzoil, very honest people. Seth Winger recently going to put his house up for sale that Fred used to live in. Fred will tell us about that, what he thinks it's worth. But Seth Winger at Winger Insurance, Gilbert's Carpet Plus, you know the Gilberts all the way from Max Gilbert's sons, Tom and George, great people. DW2, Dale Wiley, a cancer survivor, great guy, gives back whenever he can, he does. Michigan Landscape and Excavate, Jeff Garrett. Great guy, does it all from building the house. From digging the hole for the house to the landscaping. Got a good compliment from Heather Miller the other day. Hired him to do a little dress up around the house, and she said he did a very nice job and a very reasonable price. So that's Jeff Garrett, Michigan Landscape and Excavate. Barrington Firearms Training Center. Yeah, you see Casey's having a woman's night out or something over there.
Super Bowl Sundays. So while the guys are home watching the Super Bowl, the ladies can be out. Learning to take control, protect themselves.
Well, I asked the mayor here, Fred, hasn't been on in a while, and it's kind of nice that he comes out and kind of just updates us on what's going on in the city. I know the Hemlock Project's about completed. And
Fred, aim that mic up a little more towards your mouth.
Yeah.
And
then I'm going to give him 5 minutes.
How about Waterloo got paved yesterday? Oh my God, it's been how many years that you couldn't drive down Waterloo because it was so bumpy. It's paved. Take a ride down.
I didn't know that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So we're happy for that.
Everybody has a critic. We all have critics, right? All right, let me see. You go ahead, Fred. Tell us about it.
The hot ticket we're working on right now is the old jail.
Okay,
we
had
that. Just an excellent turnout last week to talk about the old jail. A lot of people toured it and then came and talked to us about it, and everybody just about unanimously wants to keep it.
Right.
But it costs a lot of money to put it back in shape.
Sure.
So we're working.
What is it right now? If you go in there, what do you see? I didn't go to the tour, but
right now it's just the lower level is fairly empty. It has one conference room that is being used by some groups, and then the second floor is being rented.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
As a residence.
Okay.
But to fix the shell, to make it watertight and preserve it is going to cost a lot of money.
To preserve what?
The old jail.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to cost a fortune.
Why don't we do this then? Somebody brought this idea up. Historical Society move in there and sell the historical property. What do you think of that? Can of worms?
Yeah, well, those folks want to keep as many historical buildings as they can.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. That's would be the problem. I'm forming a committee today in the next few days to look at what to do with the old jail. That's maybe some new ideas.
Yeah.
I'd love it to be a gourmet restaurant.
Right, yeah.
Or something,
destination
like
restaurant.
Yeah. But
make it Italian. We need to get Italian.
The problem is there's nothing barrier-free about it.
No.
Yeah.
Steps
That's
everywhere.
The thing. Everything has to be ADA compliant at this point. Any new construction or any renovations. And
if anybody out there's got any ideas, call us in. What's the number?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Call us in right now.
231-592-1039. Number to call.
592-1039.
Yeah, 592-1039.
1039.
Yeah,
good. Help us.
Call us in. Help
us out.
Hey, Fred, I do want to commend you and your people on getting our streets paved. We have been lacking that for years, and since you become mayor, you've got Henderson paved. That's never been paved, and that's
Hanson
been for 100 years. And Hanson, yep. I bet those people fell over, thought they were on the wrong street.
I had a lady who lives on Hanson come to me. We were watching a ball game, and she literally cried over the fact that her road was so horrible. Right. And I thought, geez, we got to do something. If you bug them enough, the administration, they'll work for you.
Yeah.
And we got that part done.
Yeah, and like you say, Waterloo, wow, that's going to be nice. I'll have to drive down there, I bet. It's no curbs, but the cost of curbing is so expensive nowadays, you might as well bag that, huh?
Right.
They put a little lip on it where the outside is, or no?
No, it's just...
That's okay.
But we agree, I think every street should be curbed and guttered, but that's way out of our league in money. Oh, my goodness sakes. The next big thing, we're opening bids this week on the Depot Park.
Oh.
Where the depot is, that's all going to have a nice pavilion, bathrooms, and a huge parking lot for improvement. And we did it because we want to see that area on the east side start perking up. Yeah. And the state of Michigan went with us. They gave us a grant for $450,000.
Wow. Yeah.
And so that's a huge plus, and we got to work on the east side.
Yeah.
Down through there.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing my part. What did we got to get rid of the pawn shop? Probably should buy that.
Why don't we all get together and just buy it and doze it and make it a little green
Pocket park,
space?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cute?
Well, I would match the one
Yes.
on your corner there.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, if we can get it cheap enough, let's do it. But going back to your park, so if people want to know where that's going to be at, it's kind of like where the old depot is.
Where
now.
the old depot is, the park will surround the old depot.
Oh.
And that way, well, it used to be a lot of snowmobilers would park their vehicles there
Yeah.
and jump on the trail, but there hasn't been any snow.
Right.
And that's kind of fizzled, but bikers now are big.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have a guy who really loves to put on bike races, and we
Paul
hope that's going
Griffiths?
to be. Well, Paul with Dan Hull.
the
Dan
Rotary
Hay.
bike
Right,
tour.
Dan
Who?
Hay. Hoeh.
Where's he from?
Green Township.
Oh.
He was a full-time retired military.
Oh, good.
Loves
Yeah.
to bike.
Yeah.
And that race was attended this fall by, I think, 71 bikers or
Yep.
91
That's what
bikers. It went really well.
Where was that at?
They call it the old dam race. They start at City Hall and go through all the dams.
Oh, really?
The long race
Yeah, I
went all
guess
the
I
way to
remember
Croton
that.
Hardy.
Yeah.
Brought a lot of people to town.
Yeah.
So we were happy to.
Not only the cyclists themselves, but also the support people and the cars that go with that. And that's all meals. That's all hotel rooms. It's all good.
The Einstein Biking out of Traverse City has a division in Cadillac, and
Right.
we're hoping they put a division in our depot.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That's
yeah.
the plan. They have a manager planned for there if we can get it all worked out. So people want
That's a good use
a
for
bike
that
shop.
space. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The floor is done in the depot. It's really looking sharp.
Good.
What are they going to do there?
We hope put a bike shop there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then right south of that will be your little parking spot.
Yes.
And
a pavilion.
And a pavilion.
And
How big
bathrooms.
is that be? And then picnic tables underneath it and
Yes.
stuff?
Yeah. So it
That'd
should
be
be
pretty
nice.
nice,
Water
yeah.
station.
That butts up to Ben Brandt's property. then?
Yes.
All
Yes.
the way up alongside that.
I
trail.
tried to get Ben to sell us a little bit back behind there, but he's
Yeah.
probably got plans. So.
Yeah. Yeah. But you don't really need it.
No,
property. But you have plenty of parking there.
but a lot of parking now.
Yeah.
It'll be really good.
Yeah.
Curbed and guttered.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, no shit. What did, how about, oh, sorry, Bob. Hey, how about Dragon Trail? Did you see that open now
Yeah.
officially? And they said that it was in the Pertinier there, and they had a picture of a motorcycle. You can't put a motorcycle on. But
no,
did you
no.
see it?
Yeah, that didn't make much sense, did it?
I didn't see it yet. But that's what they said. They had a motorcycle out for a picture on
yeah,
Dragon Trail.
there's no motors allowed on
Boy,
that.
now there'll be a motorcycles going up and down there. Oh my
Oh,
Lord!
there you go.
That's a little bit over my league there. That I walked on a little bit, and holy moly, it's like tough.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where did you start at? Then?
You can go right to Brower, and
Yeah. Okay.
it circles the whole pond, 47 miles.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah. Think you'll get used to that? I'm just.
they
I
hope so.
Yeah,
I'm not a biker, so I really don't have a clue what
Yeah.
that
yeah.
amounts
I
to.
hope so. They talked like it was going to really bring a lot of big time bikers in from all over the world. Bob, are you a biker, Bob?
I used to be.
You don't ride a bike
No,
anymore.
no.
Neither do I, Bob.
A
Start up,
little
huh?
girth, maybe with a motor on it, like those e-bikes or something. Maybe I could handle that. But.
So the pocket park.
So did you hear that Mechanic Street's going to be finished off?
Really?
Linda Miller applied for another grant from the Missing Middle program,
Yeah.
and the state just notified them that they're going to get another $500,000,
Nice.
so that the houses, instead of being $300,000, will be $200,000. So there'll be 5 more. That's big news.
Yeah, it is.
And the 5 people that did the first 5 are just nice young couples
Yeah.
and people that are really good additions.
Just in that area up, aren't they?
Yes. So 5 more. And then Mr. Pohl, P-O-L, just bought 2 lots and put foundations in for 2 more. So,
That's the guy from Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
He's invested a lot here, hasn't he?
yeah, he built that house on the burned out lot on Sanborn.
Oh yeah.
That house is all closed in. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah. It's helping Big Rapids a lot. I know that.
Hugely.
So for people that don't know, we're talking Mechanic Street's over on the east side again on Big Rapids. They're off 1 block over from Bjornson, right?
Right.
Or 2
Couple,
actually.
yeah.
2 blocks over, yeah. And that's all paved.
Paved, curbed and guttered.
Yeah, it's
storm
curbed and
sewers,
guttered.
buried power. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got 5 there now? Families living there?
5, the MOISD
Oh,
kids,
yeah.
the builders, have another one, so that'd be 6. Pole has 2 foundations in, makes 8. And then
Wow.
5 more makes 13, so we filled her out.
Jeez, that
Linda
is
Miller's doing a great job at the Housing
Yeah,
Commission, keeping
Mark
that
Potter,
rolling.
well, yeah.
Yep.
What else is new in the city then? Let's see.
We got the splash pads ready for next year.
Yeah. I personally wanted them to open it this fall
Yeah, I
to
know.
see what it looked like. And they want the grass to get thicker.
Yeah.
Because if the kids all run in there and tear up all the grass, they'll have to do it again. So,
Well, Billy from Gerber did a nice job, didn't he?
oh, I'll tell you, Gerber was a great partner.
Yeah, they're good people, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Kit
Yeah, Kit, yeah.
is the on-site guy, and
Okay.
he did a great job. It's beautiful. That kids' play area is the best.
It's all done down there?
That's all done. Everything's done except for the copper roof over the warming fireplace.
Oh, okay. That's
And that'll
nice.
go in, they said,
So it's
this
going to be a
week.
fire pit there. That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. You won't be able to touch it.
Cadillac has, right in the town there. So that's nice too. So that'll
Yes.
be someplace to gather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. And they decided to do a grand opening in the spring.
Yeah.
As soon as the weather breaks.
Yeah.
Now, somebody had a good question that said, how do you keep the geese off of it?
I haven't heard how they're going to do it.
That's going to be interesting, because the geese are going to enjoy that.
What, the splash pad?
The splash pad, yeah, because they'll be able to
Really?
splash around in it, or
Huh.
do this.
How deep is it?
No, it's
No,
not deep. But
they'll just be
They'll
under
get
the
showered.
showers.
Yeah.
We don't know.
What? You know something we don't know then,
I don't
Bob?
know. No, somebody mentioned it on Ask Big Rapids or something. I had kind of a giggle over that because
always
the geese
positive.
are always, they're all over the place. So, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
That's one of
But,
those positive people, huh?
Yeah, of course.
So
always.
we should mention that next Friday, Thursday or Friday, the regional tennis is coming to Big Rapids for our whole region, Division 3.
How'd we get that?
John Coles applied for it, and they got it. And so we have 8 courts out at the high school, and they're going to use the brand new courts down at Hemlock Park, 4 more courts.
Really?
So that's a huge thing for the city
Big
to get those
draw.
people
Yep,
come
that's
downtown,
nice.
get
Bet.
down there. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Yep, that is. Boy, that John Coles, I know.
He loves his town.
He does, don't he? And
Yeah,
he
we'll
just-
run him for mayor someday.
I
won't we?
wanted him for mayor. You were second choice.
Well, thank you for that.
Nice.
You've done a great job. You really have, though. I mean, them streets, if nothing like Tim Wells, he loves you.
Yeah, I got that.
Back to his alley there.
That took years.
That
Yeah.
thing was gravel forever, and geez, he kept asking every year for that, and they shunned him, and this year now he's all happy.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. So what else?
The only other thing we got cooking is fire merger. That's a hot topic.
oh yeah. I
That'd
thought
be
that
talked
meeting
about.
went good, didn't it?
Excellent. I thought it was well run. I thought the people spoke their minds.
Talk about it a little bit. Tell the people that weren't there, and tell the people what's going on.
Yep. The city fire department and township fire department are right next to each other. All the way around the city is the Big Rapids. In Big Rapids, all volunteer fire departments are having trouble with staffing. You can't get people to be
Right.
firemen anymore.
No.
They don't pay enough. They have to, change their
Even with all
lives.
the benefits, it used to be they would be able to pepper it with benefits
Yes,
and things
not
like
anymore.
that. Yeah, no.
So, Carmen Bean, the supervisor of the township, met with the city and said, "What do you think if we got together, collaborated?" We thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
We're all for it. There's no downside that I can find.
I can't either.
They only have a handful of volunteers right now,
Right.
so they're hurting a little bit.
They have a beautiful station there, south of town. But that's the other thing is that with Big Rapids Township, you have a fire on this end of town. They have to go through the city to get from one end to the other.
We talk about that all the time,
Yeah.
Bob. That's a biggie.
Yeah,
Because it just doesn't make sense.
right.
So,
But one thing we have, and a lot of communities don't, maybe equal to, but our administrator, that Steve Schroeder, he is awesome. Isn't he?
Yeah.
He'll make it work.
where does the town of 10,000 find a fire chief who's
I don't
dedicated
know.
like
and he's
that?
young.
Yeah,
He's
I don't
been
know.
doing-
He must just be 40 or
I
something.
think
I
he
don't know.
started when he early 30s when he became chief there. So somebody Sobers knew what he was looking at.
Somebody
when he
found the
hired
right
him.
number. You know who hired him?
Sobers.
Andy Nurbon.
Oh,
Remember
okay.
Andy?
Yeah,
When she
real well.
she was in charge of both
Yep,
fire
that's
and
right.
police.
That's right.
So
Yep, she did hire him.
I talked to her about it just last week, and she's so proud of Steve
Oh boy,
and
yeah.
what he's done.
He's an administrator.
Well,
That's
speaking
for
of
sure.
Steve
Hopefully-
Schroeder, I mean, he's got another little project going on. That's right across the street at the airport. So what's happening with that? I got the expansion happening.
It is. It's going. In the spring, I think dirt will be moving.
Yeah.
Monday night, we have to approve like 8 or 10 resolutions for the state of Michigan for the runway.
Right.
It's just endless paperwork. That's what the
course.
holdup is. It's endless.
FAA. And
FAA.
State and, oh, yeah.
So I don't think there's a single holdup right now for starting in the spring.
Wow. Nice.
We haven't heard about our wetlands problem at the end of the runway yet. They haven't ruled on it, but we're waiting to hear what we have to do with the wetlands.
Where's that at?
End of the runway to the west.
And
There's a swamp.
wetlands over there?
There's a swamp
Oh, yeah, to the
to the
I thought
west.
that was south of it. But it's
Right at the end.
Huh.
Yeah.
So,
But they're fencing that whole thing off.
yes. The fencing is in. Believe it's arrived. It's at the airport.
Yeah,
it hasn't
the
been
poles are
stretched
in.
yet.
You can see it here.
Yeah, poles are in.
Everybody can keep an eye on that work because it's right here. It's like-
Well, now the deer, Mandrela's farm was there for years, man. They used to hunt that. Thousands of deer. I'm literally 1,000 deer out there easily. Now it's all pushed to the south to my place in the Wardens. We got a lot of deer.
you do.
The shaker and mover on this one is Frank Wheatlake.
Yeah.
He came to us and said, half the time I can't land there because there's so many deer. I have to go land in Grand Rapids and drive up.
Oh.
And he said, if you'll get going on that, I'll help you get it going. Yeah. And now I think all the posts are in. The fences at the airport to be stretched. We're just waiting for the crew to come back and stretch it.
How big a plane will be able to land there then?
I don't know
no,
planes.
but big
A jet, a small jet,
yeah, like
I guess.
I saw one that I have a program called Flight Aware. I saw a NetJet, which is a rental jet, going from here down, but it was really, really small jet. But they have the fuel for it and everything. Their FBO
Right.
is,
We have the good jet fuel. The problem is if you fill the airplane and put a bunch of stuff in it, our runway is a little short.
Yeah.
So you put it up to the
5,000,
5,000, it makes it.
Yeah.
Whether that brings a lot of business to Big Rapids or not, we don't know.
I think again, the Ferris, they'll be able to bring jets in at that point.
We hope.
Yeah, so.
What's that?
It won't be, the usual size for the big, like going to Gerald Ford, 7,000 is kind of the minimum. So it's not going to be at that level. It's going to be a larger private.
But we have good neighbors in Big Rapids Products.
Yeah.
Those people have lots of factories here and
That's
hire a
true.
lot of people, and they'd like to have their jet be usable. Instead, they have to drive to Traverse City.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'd like them to be able to put their jet in their hangar here and use it.
Do you know Frank very well, Wheatlake?
Pretty good.
Well, I've known him my whole life.
He's a Michigan Tech guy. That's why.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, his kids went up there too,
Yeah.
didn't they? Or
Yeah.
one of them. But I just want to say this about him. We always, at the Alumni Association, the Big Rapids one, we always pick a distinguished alum for the year. And I've often brought his name up. And it was no question that he probably is the most influential man in Michigan from this area and accomplished more in his life than anybody in this area, and built a business, an enterprise that's benefited thousands of employees.
Nationwide, too.
Yeah. So I nominated him to be a distinguished alum, and everybody agreed pretty much, that he would. But I thought, I better ask him first. Tell him.
Frank won't take that, I'll bet.
No, he didn't want to do that. He doesn't like to be showcased, so we didn't. But somehow, someday, I'm going to somehow honor him because, I won't mention names, but a lot of people in this area would have never, well, let's just say they benefited from his business and got to where they're at and doing real well, and they pay good money. And geez, I didn't just look at that operation up in Reed City. It would have been nice to have it down here, and it started down here. Right?
No, did it?
Carpet Gallery's at.
Really?
That was Wheatlake's, yeah. High Decker Wheatlake started there.
Think of the millions of people that are going to benefit from their work down south right now. It's in case people don't know what they do, they repair all this infrastructure, the high tension, all of that is destroyed in hurricanes and natural disasters. And
He
they
sends
come in.
hundreds of men down to those
Yeah.
disasters.
Yeah. So they're
Big company.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's nice to have them in our neighborhood.
And Frank also, he doesn't like to hear about this, but he really made the airport expansion possible.
I heard that, yeah.
He went to his congressman and said, Congressman,
Yeah.
We need to earmark a little
Yeah.
within a short time.
We have two big guys in this community that make a lot of things happen, and that's him and Porteous.
Yes.
Dave Porteous in Reed City. He's done a lot for this area, and Frank Wheatlake, those two there should be enshrined someday.
Porteous he helped them get a whole new wastewater treatment plant up there in Reed City. They're building it now.
Susan got a really nice
How about
tribute with the cancer center.
Yes,
And,
that's all Frank and Susan.
Yeah, and so now it's his turn, right?
Yeah. Well, she's survived.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that
There you
lady,
go.
she was one that brought breast cancer to a height that nobody else could ever brought it to, and to
Bring
our
the
hospital.
awareness. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then our hospital, of course, that's all moved on, and it's up to Reed City now, huh?
The cancer center is, that's for sure.
Yeah. So anything else in the city that's working, you guys are working on?
A lot.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
There's a lot.
we got to keep those people busy.
Yeah.
Moving forward, if you sit still, it doesn't happen.
No.
You got to keep pushing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anybody interested in the Rite Aid space, or is that still a work in progress?
I haven't heard anything on it.
Yeah.
And the what?
The Rite Aid, where the Rite Aid was.
Oh,
yeah.
You know
They'll
something,
find
Bob? What I would love to see is that the old chemical bank on the corner there.
know.
That would be a great multi-level restaurant, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be really cool. A lot of parking. It just isn't happening.
I know it. And you know
I think
what?
the drive-through part's kind of inconvenient because to pull out that would be an accident.
There's an
waiting to
elevator
happen.
in there, and it could be an excellent
nice.
spot going in the top
Yeah.
where the parking is.
Yeah.
But we're not seeing that action.
Yeah.
You know, Blue Cow does a nice job. They draw a lot of people to this community.
Sure.
But we, like you say, the more the merrier. You know, the more you have. But I don't know. It takes some money to do her.
Yeah. When you see Spirit Halloween, it's kind of like, okay, so that's the space that needs to be filled. But they're coming around. So,
Yeah.
and of course, me and my standalone Starbucks. But I'll, they have one on the campus, but to have one that's because it's a nice place to hang out.
I see a lot of people are using the pickleball courts.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
You know what is used the most in the whole project? The basketball courts.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
There are kids and adults and
Yeah.
college kids playing on those basketball courts every day. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah,
now,
it is.
pickleball, they really have a huge group. They had a tournament, a couple weeks ago down there, and it was
Yeah.
15 teams and
Wow.
busy.
Thing we got to work on. We won't spend a lot of time because we're almost up with time. But a softball field here in Big Rapids, baseball fields, soccer fields. Man, my grandkids go out of town and you see thousands of people. Now, I mean, not thousands, but hundreds of people there at the tournament. Look at all those people with their campers, staying in the hotels and stuff. That's what we got to do as Big Rapids, man. And we're going to move around as a recreational center here.
That for sure.
Yeah.
The land is mostly in the township, so
I
we
know,
got to work together.
Yeah. We're going to.
So the question is, do you push soccer or do you put softball or do you push baseball? What do you push?
I know it.
They're
Like I
all,
said, I mean, I think I told this on with you here is that in South Haven, Mississippi, they have the Snowden Park, which is 17 baseball fields, and in the summer they have regional, Southeast United States tournaments. They have thousands of kids who come, and that's a lot of hotel rooms and a lot of fast food and all of that. And they just perk all summer. And the thing is, we have Ferris that could house them. So it would be definitely but it's all ka-ching ka-ching.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, what else, Fred? I'm about ready to leave here pretty quick and wrap it up. It's been a good morning for Bob and I having you come on here. I
appreciate you coming
Once
in.
again, we appreciate you doing the city streets. That alone will entice people to move to Big Rapids as good streets, Now, I do want to finish up with this, though. The other night, I got pulled over from the police department on State Street. Thought I was drunk, and I said, what'd pull me over for? Well, you were all over the road. I said, well, I was dodging the manholes.
Del
Running my
from
trucks.
Del from the Department of Transportation
I know
gets
it.
it from us every time he comes down.
Yeah,
And he claims they won't give him any money to fix the rest of those manhole covers.
I think it's the front end people like Big Rapids Tire, one of our sponsors, DP Tire, and I think it's
They're letting it
Pennzoil.
go.
Anybody does front end alignments
Yeah,
is
there
out
you
there
go.
going, leave them alone, leave them alone.
Well, this was when I moved to Big Rapids. My first experience was with the Curries because I hit a pothole in front of the Burger King. That was infamous, that pothole that year. And they finally got it filled in. But
Jake does a nice job, though. When he hears something going on in the city, he'll fill the potholes in pretty good. Talking about pot, those stores are doing well. You're down to 9. You had 18, didn't you? People, you got to start smoking more weed out there.
Well, it's capitalism at work, isn't it?
Huh?
That's capitalism at work.
Wow.
The people said from day one that attrition will get to them. And for 3 years, it didn't.
Yeah.
This year, we got a real reduction.
Yeah. But the price
doesn't mean you're going to get less money. As long as the people of Michigan smoke as much as they did last year, you get pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, you do? You get percentage of that sales, eh?
No.
Oh, you don't?
The state decides how much they're going to give, and then they divide it among the stores.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's something.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's found money, you know? I mean, so it's a good thing.
All right. Well, anyway, we just want to, in closing, say Big Rapids Pennzoil, we love you guys down there, Zach Wells and company. We appreciate your sponsorship. Seth Winger, get a haircut. Tom and George Gilbert, never changed at all, except they are looking a little older. DW2 Drywall, Dale Wiley, you ain't going to find anybody. I like that name, Dale Wiley. He should have been on the Andy Griffith show, you know what? Huh? There you go, yeah. RFD. Oh, me. Michigan Landscape, yep. Jeff Garrett, good guy, and Casey and Cal at Barrington Firearms Training Center. And then tomorrow we got sports show.
Right.
We got a big show tomorrow, folks. It's going to be Sandy Ghostin and Rob Bentley.
Yeah,
the best.
If you don't,
best.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say
coming
much.
off the 73-3 or whatever it was win.
Those two are workaholics.
87-7 or whatever it was.
Rob Ferris gets every penny out of Rob Bentley. He's an amazing guy.
I can't believe
works
somebody
hard.
picked him up. I can't. He is probably the best play-by-play.
It's been offered.
Oh, I bet.
He likes Big Rapids.
Yeah,
there you go.
But I'm
he likes
telling
his
you.
town, his school.
Well, listen to him tomorrow. We'll do a little jab tomorrow about how he does it, you know, and maybe we got a recording of him doing it. But man, he is good play-by-play, isn't he? Jeez, gets right into that game. He does hockey too, or no?
No.
Just football and basketball.
Right.
Yeah. Does a great job. So Rob and Sandy on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock on the sports show.
So don't forget that these are being archived now. We're streaming. So if you want to hear it anywhere in the world, you can go to B103.9BigRapids.com. Just the Curry Show, not the regular programming, because again, it comes down to the music and paying for the licensing, which is outrageous, because they all have their hand out.
All right, so now that the show's over,
we can in a few minutes we can play a song.
I want you to play "The Sound of Silence." You know
Simon and Garfunkel?
Yeah. Okay. Remember that song?
Oh, yeah. I got the album.
That'll bring back memories to the folks.
By the way, we
listen to the words, if you would.
By the way, we had a friend check in with us here. So
this is your favorite president, Donald Trump. Whenever I'm in Big Rapids, I always listen to Curry's Corner with Pat Currie and Pete Ketch, only on B103.9 80s and more.
There you go.
Hey, thank you, Don.
There we go.
That's AI Don.
We're going to have to endorse him.
AI Donald.
You know, is he the one that said, even if you lose a game, you'll always be undefeated?
There you go.
Did he say that, or did the other one say that? I loved it. Even though you're going to get beat, you're still undefeated. Okay, yeah.
There's a smart line.
Yeah.
Well, Fred Gunter, thank you for dropping in. It's always fun when you drop by.
Thank you.
And update us on things happening in the city. So it's always a good thing.
One more thing. I just want to remind Fiddler's Jamboree. A Jamboree is going to be October 5th, hosted by Marie Wilkerson at the Grant Township Hall, celebrating Teresa Fry's 90th birthday. Teresa Fry, Grant Center lady, 90 years old. Be there.
All right. Hold on. I got to. What? Everybody's leaving.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to have to find it. Okay, we're going to get to Simon and Garfunkel.
You can't find it?
No, I'll find it.
Find it,
I know
Bobby.
it's there. I will.
God bless America.
You got it.